Beachfront Bookworm. I am Tiffany. I'm so glad y'all joined me today. My channel is all about cozy mysteries and romance books, and today I'm doing something really fun. I haven't done it. It is coming up on the mid-year, and this is the best of what I've read this year and books that I haven't been as happy about that I've read this year. Next week, I'm going to do the mid-year freakout tag, but I still wanted to do this because although it does ask, you know, your favorite read and your worst read, there's a bunch of other stuff in there. So I do still want to do that tag, but I thought this would be really fun. So I have a top 5, it was supposed to be top 5, went to top 7 favorite books I've read this year that are new to me series. And then I have a couple that weren't as, you know, high ranking, let's just say. I feel bad. I'm not one to like just rag on a book for the sake of ragging on a book because I couldn't write a book and I admire people who can. And plus I just don't know that that's what I want to do. All right, so let me know what's been your favorite read, what read you've been disappointed in, anything else that you want to talk about. Down in the comments is the place to do it. On your way down to comment, don't forget to stop, hit the subscription and the notification bell. The subscription keeps my channel growing, so thank you for that. And the notification bell tells you when I put out new videos so you don't miss anything. All right, let's get to it. We're looking at my top supposed to be 5, now 7 books that I've read this year, and the books that I found the most disappointing that I've read this year. In 3, 2, 1, go! Real quick, let's get into those weekly announcements. On Monday, the reading sprints are at 7 p.m. on Lee's channel, so make sure you tune in for that. Lee and Storm switch off every other Monday. Lee from Dark Roots Creations and Storm from Storm Reads. Make sure you check out both their channels and subscribe. And then almost the rest of the week, Mr. Francie from Mr. Francie Reads. Go check out his channel and subscribe. Also, his Discord, because the reading sprints are normally in his Discord. Now, I don't know if he's doing as many as he had been doing because he was doing a lot of them, which we love. So he's might have slowed down a little bit, so make sure you check that out. But there's been a lot of reading sprints. And then on Saturday, we have the Killing Time with Cozies. This coming Saturday is our red on the cover scavenger hunt. I'm actually really excited about this one because it was so vague. I feel like it could be any theme. I have no idea what people are reading, and that means I get to hear about all sorts of different kinds of books and different cozy mysteries, and I'm super excited about it. All right, let's start. This is my top. We're going to start with the best because that's the most fun to talk about for me. My favorite reads of this year. These are only new series. So I only picked out the new series that I absolutely loved. I was trying to do 5. I did 7. It's my channel. Do what I want. And I want to do 7. Oh my gosh. All right. These are in no particular order. I cannot rank these even if I wanted to because I am not that person where I can say this is my ultimate favorite. Very rarely anyways. I'm lucky I narrowed it down to 7 because even now I'm like, oh, but I didn't get to talk about this one. So again, no particular order. A Killer Cupcake. I'm going to put it right here. This is the first book in the Beachfront Bakery series by Fiona Grace. I absolutely loved this. This was a fun beginning because our main character, so normally we come into cozies and they've moved back to traditionally if they're following, you know, like the formula, so to speak. A lot of times, not always, they're coming back to a small town, their hometown, after a breakup, a divorce, a losing job, that sort of thing. All of those things happen to our main character, but they happen in real time. So we're actually seeing like the boyfriend decides to break up with her job goes, you know, to the wayside, and she's just like, what in the world? And we get to see all that, which I thought was really fun. She ends up purchasing this little beachfront bakery, and that's where the series begins, and I loved it. It was fabulous. It was so good. I really like, it reminded me of like a boardwalk, and y'all know how I feel about the boardwalk. The characters were great. I've read a couple more since I've read this one, and I find this series delightful. 5 cups of coffee. The second one, this should be no surprise to people, It is the first book in the Jaine Austen series. I read it this year. I'm already on number like 9 or 10 in the series, so it's funny that I read the first one in 2022, but I did. It is This Pen for Hire. I love these covers. So in this one, our main character, Jaine Austen, she is a writer for hire. So she writes jingles. She's like edited and done some ghostwriting in a book for one of the books. She's done like advertisements for a shoe company. You name it. If you pay for her, she will write for it. She will also cause havoc and get herself into all sorts of shenanigans. This series, she has a cat named Prozac. You get like the cat's thoughts through her, but they're hysterical. But what really takes the cake is her parents. So they've moved to Tampa, or they moved to Florida, and I think it's Tampa, to be closer to the Home Shopping Network. No kidding. That's really why they moved. Because why wouldn't you? And you get emails from both of them. They are hysterically funny. I will tell you, this series is kind of repetitive. It's kind of like a Stephanie Plum type of thing, where a lot of times like the same things are happening. And so for some people, that is repetitive and they don't like it. I love it. It's like a comfort to me to pick up one of these books. I know exactly what I'm getting. I know I'm going to laugh out loud at the absurdity of it, but it does consistently. You're like, okay, I know this is going to happen. To me, that does not bother me. I really, really love this series. I think I've given every book in it 5 cups of coffee, except maybe one. I think I gave 4. Fabulous read. If I did not say this, this is by Laura Levine, and I cannot wait to get to the next one, which will be very soon. The next series is, I really loved this series. It is the Berry Basket Making Series, or the Berry Basket Mystery Series. The first book is called Dying for Strawberries. I'll put it right here. This is by Sharon Farrow, and our main character owns a berry shop. So anything to do with berries. She makes them into syrup. She makes them into candles. She makes them into jam and jellies and potpourri. Anything you can think of that you can make a berry into or sell, and she's got it for you. I love specialty shops, and I have a thing for like, I don't know, I like farmers markets. I like the canning stuff. So this was right up my alley. I cannot wait to read the next one. I don't think I've even read book 2, which is shocking because I loved this one so much. This was definitely one of my favorite reads of the new year for a book 1. Loved it. All right, number 4. Oh, this was so good. All of them, I keep saying that. Of course they're so good. They're my favorites. Tiffany, stop it. But I can't help it. I love to promote and send out good vibes for good books. This is the Books and Biscuits Mystery Series. The first book was called Body and Soul, right here. This is by Abby Collette. 5 huge cups of coffee. These all were given 5 cups of coffee, of course. Loved it. So our main characters, I cannot think of their names. They're both K names. They are twins, and they were separated at birth, maybe like a foster type of situation with the state, something like that. And it's a boy and a girl, and the girl was adopted, and the boy grew up in the foster care system. He found her when she, as an adult, and he is a chef, and she is a librarian. And so he wants to start and work with her and do this like cafe / bookstore, Books and Biscuits. It was so good. I love the characters. The boy twin, God, what are their names? Starts with a K. I'm just gonna have to look it up so I can, because I can't just do the boy twin. I can't say that. Hold on. I should have wrote it down. I don't know why I didn't write it down. I got it. Keaton and Kobe. So Kobe, the male twin, I loved his character. He was so sweet. He had so much empathy for people, probably because of his experiences in the foster care system. I absolutely loved him. There was lots of side characters that were fabulous. There was one that I think they called like an aunt, but I don't think there was a real relation there. I can't think of her name. She was fabulous. The whole series. And it involved books and it involved food. So kabam, my cup of tea. 5 huge cups of coffee. It was so good. So good. Next up, probably no surprise again. It is a dinner and a murder mystery series, Death in Castle Dark. This is by Veronica Bond, who is AKA Julia Buckley, who is one of my favorite cozy mystery writers. As a writer, I love her style of writing. She pulls me in every time with her settings and her characters. I really connect with her writing, and this one was no different. And if you don't know this, I love drama. So a murder mystery dinner theater, yes please. It was fabulous. So our main character, she wants to be an actress, and she gets contacted from this like castle to do a dinner theater, and she's like, castle? Yeah, right. She shows up and it is a bona fide castle, and she ends up joining them. She gets to live there. I hate to break this to you, but a murder ensues. Yeah, I know, that's shocking. Anyway, so she is, of course, our main character that is also sleuthing. It was so good. We're going to be buddy reading the second one, and I cannot wait. I have 2 more. That was the 5th one. Number 6. I tried to narrow it down to 5, but I just couldn't. Number 6. The first book in the Stoneybrook mystery series, A Crafty Crime. This is by Erin Scott. It is a KU book. I loved it. So our main character she makes stuff for farmers market. And again, anything to do with farming, anything to do with canning, farmers markets, that is my thing. I absolutely love reading about it. It was so much fun. She has a twin, or I think it's a twin. She has a sibling who is the police detective, which is a different dynamic. I mean, sometimes we get brother and sister, but this was that case too. And then a friend, and this one was really fun because if I'm thinking of the right book, I'm pretty sure I am. Her and the police detective, which is her brother, and her good friend, they each take on a suspect, but they almost want their suspect to win as the killer, because they almost make it like this game. I mean, in a silly way, but they're like, oh, well, mine did this, so I think that mine. It was really cute. It kept me in the story the entire time. I really, really loved the farmer's market aspect. And like I said, remember too, there was some canning and making of jam and jellies. Loved it. All right. So the last one that was one of my favorites of the year for a book one was a haunted vintage mystery series. If you've got it, haunt it. This is by Rose Pressey. I thought this was fabulous. There is a ghost in it. The ghost isn't the main character. So the main character was in a vintage clothing shop, or runs a vintage clothing shop. And I'm sorry, it's been a while, and I reviewed it and now it's out of my head. But basically she's at the vintage clothing shop. I can't remember if she's shopping or working there. Anyways, somebody starts talking to her and she starts talking back, but then she realizes nobody else can see or hear the person. She had no idea. This one was really funny because her friend is a psychic or whatever. I think it's psychic. And she's like, that's all fake. And her friend's like, what? Because the main character can now actually see ghosts, and the one that gets paid to do all this kind of stuff is like, no, I don't. It was so good. It was funny. It was done well. I loved the writing. It was phenomenal. 5 huge cups of coffee. Those were my favorites of the year. Again, I would love to hear yours. And now let's move to my not so favorites. I in no way am going to tear apart a book. I will be honest, but I could never write a book, and I don't know how tearing apart a book makes a book. I don't think that's helpful in any way, and I just think it's mean. So my perspective, so I'm not going to do any of that, but I am going to be honest. So I did only have one DNF, which I just couldn't finish. I actually do think I finished it, but only because I was so close to the end. It was the first book in the Yellow Rose mystery series by Leanne Sweeney. It's called Pick Your Poison. I'll put it right here. I wasn't a huge fan throughout the book. I was like, okay, I'm going to make it through. And then something happened that I really thought was problematic personally. I'm not even going to talk about what it was. First of all, honest to gosh, I don't know that I remember the specifics, but 2, I don't believe in, getting torches out and trying to drum up the troops to, oh, she did this in her book, let's go. So I don't believe in doing that. Yeah, but I wasn't a fan of it. And so like I said, I do actually think I finished it, but I will not read the second one. And I was truly disappointed in what did happen. I thought it was very problematic. These next, I have 3 more. These next ones, I didn't DNF. There was no problematic things in the books or anything like that. They just weren't necessarily my cup of tea. Something maybe I don't plan on continuing or something like that. So the first one is the Florida Keys Bed and Breakfast Cozy Mystery Series by Danielle Collins. The first book was called Murder Mystery Book Club. I don't know that I wouldn't consider reading the second one in this. I probably would if somebody was like, oh, you should read the second one. The other 2, I probably won't. But this one I'm on the fence about. But I was disappointed in it. There was just too much in book 1. Too many characters, too many things going on. Because this series should work for me. It takes place in the Florida Keys, and the Keys are amazing. It's a bed and breakfast, which is I love bed and breakfast cozies, but it just didn't. And again, I'm not completely against reading the second one, but really it was just, I just thought it was too much going on in this. Number 2 is The Watchman of Rothenberg Dies. It is right here. This is the first book in the Homeswappers series by Adriana Liccio. This one, I felt like there was some stuff off in the writing that really made it hard to read. And when I say hard to read, it was because sometimes I felt like it was missing things. I would start reading something and I'm like, did they start in the middle of the story and not tell me the beginning? Even the very beginning, it felt like I was dropped in to something already happening, but I only got it started over here and I'm only getting this and on. And I felt like that through the whole thing. And I felt like this one had some, for me, very non-cozy stuff, which is just a personal preference. I want to keep my cozies cozy. So there you go. I will definitely probably not read number 2 in this. And the last one is An Unholy Murder. I'll put it right here. This was the first book in the Deadly Wedding Cozy Mystery series by Rosie Milady. The main character is a wedding planner, and this book took place in Italy, which the main character lives in Italy, but it's a destination wedding company. So I don't know if the other book she'll travel to a different country, but she does travel for this one, but she does stay in Italy. And it's at a convent, which I love nun type of things. So I thought I would really love it. This also had some writing flaws that were very noticeable. And when writing, for me, what I mean by that is it makes the book not flow. It felt very choppy because it just kept taking me out of the story. And the other thing with this one, it also too had some pretty non-cozy things in it. I mean, it was just like a history type of thing, but it was pretty non-cozy and creepy. Both of the last two, the Watchman of Rothenberg and Unholy, not just non-cozy, but both of them some like creepy stuff that I was like, ooh, okay. I am not a fan of that. So I just didn't enjoy them. Doesn't mean that somebody else won't and that they're not their favorite books of the year. Who knows? That was my favorites and my disappointed reads for 2022 so far this year. Next week, I'll be doing the mid-year freakout tag. So it does have a couple of these questions, but a lot more to talk about with the mid-year. Let me know what your favorites have been so far, your disappointing reads so far. Give me a big thumbs up for this video. And until next time, may all your future reads be 5 stars.